Well, good evening and welcome, Warriors, to another episode of the R&R Report. I am Robert Hagan, joined tonight by that guy, Ryan Bremling, joining me here tonight. Randy on assignment for Lewiston High School basketball. We'll talk, hopefully get in some time as the girls are playing tonight. But Brian, nice enough to join me tonight, so glad you get to join us. So, dude, it's Thanksgiving week. Are you ready for Thanksgiving?
Glad to be back. I don't know if we can fit all of everything we're going to talk about into 2 hours.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy of how much time and what we've got going on tonight. Talking about Thanksgiving. We'll talk a little bit about Rivalry week. That's the biggest thing this week we've got going on. We've got Mississippi State, Ohio, Ole Miss on Thursday, Florida State. We've got the Iron Bowl. We've got the Civil War. We've got the Apple Cup. So much things going on. We've got World Cup action. We have got some results from the Soton County from the Special Olympics of them doing state. We've got a few more awards for things going on with drawing a blank, NFL. We've got awards for MLB. We're going to talk Joel Damon. I want to talk a little bit more Joel Damon. We didn't get a chance to talk a lot of Joel Damon the other day, last week with Randy, but Joel has another great weekend. So, man, lots of stuff to talk about. We'll get there. So, first, let's kick things off. It is all about Thanksgiving week, Rivalry week. First of all, what are you thankful for, man? There's so much things going on right now. What are you thankful for?
Thankful for my health and my family's health, but also thankful that you and I get to talk about sports like this, and it's just fun to share our thoughts and listen to everybody else's opinions and thoughts too as well on the things that we love to talk about most, which is sports. And it's going to be a fun week just being able to sit in front of the couch with friends and family and eat and watch sports.
Yeah. And that's the one thing I noticed. There's a lot more Thursday night games this week, so that's going to be interesting. We got three big NFL games this week. And if I'm not mistaken, if I remember right, there's like 4 extra games on Thursday for college. So a lot of things happening. Let's go a quick scoreboard update for all of us MAC fans. Randy and I love Mac. There's something about Mac on Tuesdays. Right now, Ball State is leading Miami of Ohio 17-3 as they are in the third quarter. And at halftime, Ohio is leading Bowling Green. So lots there. Earlier action yesterday. We'll touch on World Cup really quick. USA and Wales, they tied yesterday, 1-1. USA real tough on that one. Gives up a goal with just minutes left in that one. So tough to see. USA had a chance to go out and win that one and give up a goal in the 82nd minute. USA's Tim Wade scores the one goal at the 36-minute mark. You look at the games that happened earlier today. Argentina loses to Saudi Arabia by a score of 2-1. So Saudi Arabia will get an extra point there. Denmark and Tunisia also full time. They go scoreless. Poland and Mexico also go scoreless. And then France ends up winning 4-1 over Australia. So
that might be the biggest upset in the history of the World Cup. Saudi Arabia over Argentina. Lionel Messi. He scored right away. Penalty kick in the first 10 minutes, but then Saudi Arabia scored the next 2 goals. That's only their fourth World Cup win all time. And they scored in the 48th minute. That was the first shot attempt of the game. So for Saudi Arabia to pull off that major upset is huge right out of the gates of the World Cup.
So the big thing with the World Cup that I noticed, they go and they build this whole place in Qatar and spend the billions of dollars to build it. One thing, maybe the largest attendance so far, Argentina and Saudi Arabia, 88,000 people in attendance for that game earlier. And it's just crazy to think about how many people were there on there. So you missed intro, Robert Taylor. Randy is he's still a little bitter about that loss. We'll talk a little bit about that later. Even Randy and I have not talked about the game that happened against those New England Patriots. We'll talk a little bit. Hopefully he might be listening. He might be ready. I can't remember what time Tim was for the Lewiston basketball game, as he is covering the Lewiston game. So we take a look at a few of the games coming up. Anything that you are excited for, looking forward to watching?
I'm interested in the Egg Bowl. It's the Ole Miss and Mississippi State. And, got Mike Leach, Lane Kiffin might have one foot out the door. He's been rumored to be linked to the Auburn job. And so that'll be a great game to watch. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, in my opinion.
Yeah, Mississippi, that was a big thing that he was quite clear in his news conference today that he was not leaving. Yeah. He wanted to chat with the boys, did do that. So he kind of kept them in check. But he did throw out a few things of, okay, well, maybe we can get a facility that doesn't leak water. So maybe that is a poke at them to get something to happen. So we will see what that happens. You say a couple of names. I'm going to throw them out there. We talk the Golden Egg in Mississippi, the Territorial Cup, the Old Oaken Bucket in Indiana, the Apple Cup, Fremont Cannon, the Iron Bowl, the Civil War. This week is nothing but all kinds of matchups for some big games.
Right. Not just within the rivalry, but as far as trying to get to as far as the championship game. A lot of these games are going to impact who's going to be playing in their conference title games. And so not just the rivalry within each game, but a lot of them are going to go a long way in deciding who's going to advance into their respective conference championships as well.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how many games go off. And just taking a look right now, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 college games on Friday this week. So it will be a little crazy and going and seeing all those different games going on. Friday one, I think probably the best Friday one that's out there for me, if you're looking at, has to be Tulane, probably Tulane and Cincinnati. The other one, maybe it's all about the Florida State. Going to be the afternoon game on ABC. I'm looking forward to that one too.
Yeah, Tulane is one of those teams in the New Year's Six conversation, and Cincinnati was the team that was in last year. So Cincinnati and Tulane, rivalry, and so that's going to be a great game between those two teams trying to get in the New Year's Six bowl game.
Yeah, so it'll be quite interesting. We'll talk a little bit more college here in a few minutes. I get into NFL, but one last thing we did announce last week that the Soton County Special Olympics group, they were traveling to go with their state. One of my students was one of those members, and so we wanted to share a little bit. I did get a amount of medals that the teams brought back in the singles. They brought home 2 gold, silver, and 2 bronze medals. One of those gold medals was one of my students, so it was cool to see him talk about getting his medal. They do bring home the gold in the doubles. One of the athletes in got sick, and they ended up having to use, I believe, last game their average, and still ended up. Her partner ended up carrying her in that for them to bring home gold. So hats off to those guys. And the unified team brought medals. Lots of medals coming in over the last interstate tournament. So hats off to Sandy Grondal, those guys, with the Special Olympics out of Osceola County. All right, so let's talk some NFL football, sir, and let's start with the Thursday night game. And it's going to be, might be a little rough, maybe a little bit, maybe a little bit more. But Green Bay, is this? I'll pose this question to you first. Is this Aaron Rodgers? Hoorah, I'm going out the door, because the way those boys played against Tennessee just was it looked like there was no heart playing them. They looked very flat.
He's just not playing with the passion that he had in the last year or two. And I don't know if he lost Devontae Adams. Doesn't have the weapon player that he had that security blanket on the back in there, but you're right. It just seems like he's not all there with the team, and so it makes you wonder if this is his last season in Green Bay.
And we talked to Randy and I where he went to the game a few weeks ago with the Jets and the Packers. We looked at the idea of Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, what they've been doing. Jones looked really good last week. This week, not much. No carries, 40 yards, no touchdowns. The running game just looks non-existent in this matchup against Tennessee's defense, which I don't think Tennessee's defense is a high enough ranked defense. But they held them to 50 total yards on 19 carries.
Yeah, they get in, going in the running game. And then the passing game too. He was Aaron Rodgers was off, even throwing the ball. I don't know if it's still, but they just could not get any rhythm on offense.
Yeah, and you say that, and you look at the other side. Ryan Tannehill, another decent game. Even chatting with Rob about it, he was impressed with what Tannehill's doing. He went 22-27, 333 yards, had the one pick. He is just looking great. I mean, hitting Burks for having 111 yards. So he just is playing. I think they're just getting better at the right time. And it might be that team that look out here a little bit further down the road.
Exactly. And they pretty much secured the South. I believe they're running away right now. But when you have Derrick Henry in the backfield, and the linebackers have to suck up for the run game. Then Tannehill that opened the pass game. That's why Tannehill had such a great game too, passing wise. When they have to key on Derrick Henry, the Tannehill's passing game.
And you look at that, Tennessee right now, 7-3 on the season. Still got a 3-game lead. Could they be the danger team that? And now we're being told, and we're working on it right now. All right, let me know if that solved the echo problem. I think it might have gotten it solved. Tennessee might be the team that I would hate to face going into the playoffs.
Absolutely, yeah. I was going to mention that. My Power 5 Tennessee is not a team you want to play in the playoffs. When you have a team that can run the ball like Tennessee, it's not a team you want to play. Especially they're going to get a home game. They win the division, so they're just going to be that much more tough to come December.
Yeah. We look at that. We could also look at the fact of Derrick Henry, 87 yards, just one touchdown. So that could easily be something that this ball club can lean on a little bit more. It just seems to be slow to get started. For me. We look at that. And I want to talk about the receiving core really quick of this team. And you look at Randall Cobb. First came back, 6 receptions, 73 yards. But they're leaning on the rookie. Christian Watson, another game where he was 4 receptions, 48 yards, and another 2 touchdowns. That's 4 touchdowns in 3 games total?
Yeah. He's early drops early on in the season. He's starting to become one of Aaron Rodgers' favorite weapons, especially on the deep ball because of his speed. But Christian Watson has been one of the surprise rookies of the year.
Yeah. Well, let's turn our attention to the one game Randy and I did have in our picks this week. We had Atlanta at home against Chicago. Randy took Chicago. I took Atlanta, and Atlanta comes away with a 3-point win. And that one, really, 2 things to talk about this game. Cordell Patterson, does he still have it? He hasn't. He's been kind of quiet this year. Has 206 total yards in this game. 103 yards on a kick return. Comes up big with a big touchdown. He seems to be the only spark for the Atlanta team. Justin Fields, though. Chicago is running everything through Justin Fields right now. Another solid game, 53 and a touchdown, but he also had 85 yards rushing in that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cordell Patterson, he's done yet. I mean, another kickoff return. I don't know why teams continue to kick off because he has 9 kickoff returns, touchdowns. And he's a weapon in the backfield too. They use him as a running back. The running game is really strong. And so Cordell Patterson, I don't think he's done yet. And so they're going to keep using him as the backfield as a weapon. He's also great coming out of the backfield and pass plays. And he did get a little banged up, I believe, too. So I think he's still running too much and setting himself up for injury, and so they're not protecting him as much as I would like. It's easier if he's going to be your franchise quarterback. They got to keep him from scampering out of the backfield too much.
And I think they need to figure out, for this team, to make Justin Fields more successful. And you can pretty well look at the 3-8 already. They will be building for the future. I think the first place they need to go is they need to find them a strong running back. Take a little pressure off of Justin Fields. Can you say that would be your next question? Is he kind of the same Lamar Jackson? Not to toot Lamar Jackson, but you see these guys being more mobile.
Yeah, that's where the game is today. You got to have a more quarterback. Fields is taking too much of a beating early in his career, and it's affected him a lot. He's missed a few games, so I agree. You got to somebody as far as a running back to shoulder the load. Not put it all on Justin Fields. So whether it's in the draft, free agency, they're going to have to find a running back that'll help take that load off.
We'll start talking about that a little bit. Draft time being made. We'll start looking at probably after the end of the season, start knowing where some of these teams sit. We'll talk a little bit about who might be a good fit for different teams. We'll look at that. Buffalo knocked out Cleveland 31-23, 77 inches snow in Orchard Park there. Listen, I think that was a smart move moving it to Detroit because Josh Allen needed that bounce back. He's had two tough games in a row. I think this, he didn't throw up huge numbers of what he doing, only just shy of 200 yards. But he needed to get the control back, and I think he found a little bit of that in this game.
Right, and I think that was the test too, because Cleveland came in there and they played him even for a while. But my question was how watching the game in the Meadowlands, and how come there's no snow in the Meadowlands? There's 6 feet of snow in North Park, not that far away. I don't even know how they got out of the airport to begin with, because how was that runway cleared up to make it to Detroit?
Yeah,
that was a good bounce back game for Buffalo.
Yeah, we talked about that as we were watching the game. Me and I did. It was just crazy to see. Browns held to just 80 yards rushing, 32 yards out of Hunt, and then Chubb with 19 yards of that. So those boys were shut down the entire time.
So for Buffalo, was that a good bounce back?
Yeah, and Brissett had the other 29 yards out of the group. You look at that. I think the big thing was how balanced the Buffalo Bills running was. The other side of it, Buffalo, 171 yards rushing. Singletary had 86 yards, a touchdown. Cook had 11 carries, same 86 yards. So it was kind of nice to see them balance the ball out, even with Marshawn running the ball only a couple of times. Keen Hines, a little rough on one carry he had. He was stopped quite easily, but they didn't have to rely on Josh Allen to get the game, get the ball rolling there.
It was good to see. They had a lot of people travel to Detroit. A lot of Bills fans. So it was almost like a home game for Buffalo. And I'm surprised that they back to Buffalo after the game. They're playing Detroit again on Thursday. So I thought they would stay there. They decided to go back to Buffalo for the Thanksgiving game before they go back to play the Lions.
Yeah, you just said it. They had attendance of 52,146 in the dome there for that. It was crazy to see that. On the other hand, losing side, you look at Jacoby Brissett, 28-41. 324 yards, 3 touchdown passes, 2 of which to Cooper, 1 to Jones. My question to you, what does the management and coaching staff do with Mr. Watson as he is eligible to play this week? What does he do?
He's been practicing for the last couple weeks, I believe. He's been suspended this for as far as being in the facility, out, watch film, and interact with players. And so he's been able to practice. So you wonder what that's going to do for the morale of the team if he's back there does he go right into the starting lineup as much as they're paying him, or do they stick with Kobe Brissett? It would be interesting to see what they do with Deshaun Watson when he is eligible to return.
Well, you look at it right now. They're 4 games back of Baltimore. Cincinnati just 1 back of Baltimore. With 5 games left, 6 games left for this ball club, as they're 3-7, so 7 games left. 7 wins gives them 10-7. Is there a possibility? Do you look at, and that might be the biggest thing you look at, is they take on the Buccaneers this week, they take on the Texans next week, and Cincinnati the week after. So lots of things up in the air for that team. It'll be interesting to see what they do, shifting things around.
Right.
Let's talk about another one of the games that was quite interesting and coming down to final plays and final drives. That's Philadelphia coming back to beat the Colts 17-16. Jalen Hurts, big 7-yard game-winning touchdown run as time is dwindling down. He goes 18-25 for 190. Jonathan Taylor, again, back a couple games now for the Colts. 22 carries, 84 yards. My question is the 9-1 record of the Philadelphia Eagles a little misleading to you?
I don't think so. At first, I thought it was, but I mean, you're talking about the strength of schedule, maybe. But as far as their record, it is what it is. They've played everybody on their schedule, and they've won 9 out of 10, and so you can't question how they've gotten by these games. I mean, they're 5-0 on the road. It's hard to win any game in the NFL, no matter who you're playing. And so even if it's fourth quarter comebacks, they've shown that they can stick around, play a tight game, as well as hang on to big leads. And so I think Philadelphia is one of the best teams in the NFL right now, and they've proven it week in, week out. So as far as how they've gotten those wins, they just keep stacking them up. So right now, I think they're a legitimate team.
You look, and we talk a little bit about Jalen Hurts, and Robert Taylor and I had this conversation. We were messaging back and forth. So we even talked about it a couple weeks ago, midweek through the season. Jalen Hurts, we could give a great honorable mention for. Could be for MVP. He has played quite well. You know, the numbers this week, just shy of 200 yards passing, but doing things with his legs, 86 yards. He's keeping things under control. So me, I'm all about the schedule. I look at the schedule. Look at these guys. Let's look at the games for this team, and tell me what you think by Christmas time. Do you believe they still have one loss? They have the Packers this week on Sunday night football. I think they come away with a win.
Yep.
And they are at home against the Titans. That might be, I think, only game I would consider that be. I would say maybe that's a loss. So that right now 10-2. Then they take on the Giants the following week in the Meadowland, on the road, possible snow. I'm gonna probably give that one. It would be close. I think it could be a possible loss. Let's think about that as 10-3. Then you're on the road with the Bears. Should be a win. Easily 11-3 going into Christmas play. Division rival Dallas Cowboys. So is there a possibility that they only have 3 losses? The last 2 games they play will be the Saints, and then it will be the Giants. So strong possibility.
Yeah, I think three at the most is absolutely within possibility. Yeah, I mean that Tennessee game is a chance for a win too.
That's going to be an even matchup.
If they can win that
That
one too,
it's going to be a home game. So
the Philly crowd's going to be fired up.
So the problem is I believe they lost groups.
Right? They're tight end.
I believe so.
So I don't know how long he's going to be out. Extended period of time, but that's and then I heard the lineup a little bit. But yeah, three losses at the most. By Christians with that matchup with Dallas is well within.
Yeah. With that, let's stay in that same division for a minute. What happened to the New York Giants in that one? Detroit comes and just totally crushes New York 31-18. Saquon Barkley, just 22 yards rushing. Daniel Jones looked great again. 341 yards. One touchdown. We had the two interceptions. He's playing a little bit better this year. Are we seeing the downward trend of the New York Giants?
We could be, but that's surprising to say when you're talking about a Brian Dable-led team. I mean, I'm not sure if they overlooked Detroit coming in or what. But you wouldn't think that with the Brian Dable head coach-led team. I mean, he's always been known for keeping his team focused on that. The game in hand, and so I'm not sure what happened here. If they overlooked Detroit coming into the team or not, sure if this is an anomaly. Who do they have next?
That's the thing I can think of. They look well ahead because the next 4 games they all face our division matchups. The Cowboys this Thursday. We'll talk about that in a minute. Then they've got the Commanders home. The Eagles at home, then they go back on the road, take on the Commanders. So 4 division matchups next 4 weeks, and then they get Vikings on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, they're just coming into the meat of their schedule now, and so I wonder if they did overlook Detroit coming in, but I know they are decimated by injuries at the wide receivers, and that's been a big problem too. They don't have anybody to throw to. So maybe that hampered Saquon in the backfield not being able to get any rushing. But yeah, it might have been just the team that was overlooking Detroit coming into the Meadowlands as late in the
I'm a big fan of Randy. I'm a big fan of what he does. His team now 4-6.
1-3 in a row.
They are on a win streak right now, sitting second in their division, 3 wins in a row. You know, Minnesota. We'll talk about that game in a few minutes. Minnesota has pretty much laid a big egg. Jamal Williams, 3 big touchdowns, 64 yards, made some unbelievable rushes.
Fantasy running back. Dividends.
He's starting to pay a little bit of this. With that being said, let's stay with that Minnesota thing. Dude, you know, I've been on Minnesota all season long. I said that they were going to run away with the division. They kind of have. Now 3 games up on, or excuse me, 4 games up on Detroit, 5 games up on, 4.5 games up on Green Bay. Should Minnesota be worried that they got their clocks cleaned against?
Yeah, that was embarrassing. They did not show up for whatever reason. After that game, their point differential negative 2 with the 8-2 record. So that tells me they're in a lot of close games. They did in Buffalo. They only won that game in Buffalo. They come out here in front of their home fans against one of the best teams in the league, Dallas. And to not even show up was mind-boggling.
I'm going to ask you one question. Dallas has been playing well. Zeke has been back. He does score their 2 touchdowns. But for me, watching that game, having that game on the TV, To me, it looked like Dallas. Tony Pollard out there. Tony Pollard looks a lot more exciting to watch.
Everybody I talked to believes that Tony Pollard is a better running back than Ezekiel Elliott, and I don't think Elliott will be back next year. I think Tony Pollard is playing his way into the lineup, and so they've been using him a lot more, especially with Zeke out. But I think Tony Pollard is the running back of the future for Dallas.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They gave his handoffs, his touchdown runs. Just I think more of appease him than anything.
Right.
In that matchup. So Dallas looks to be a strong team going in. We'll talk about them in our power rankings here in a few minutes. Couple other scores we'll just hit on really quick. New Orleans beats the Rams 27-20. Rams done.
It's looking that way. The defending camps just can't find a way to win. And then now Cooper Kupp's going to be out for the next 2 months. Stafford with concussion again. So that's a serious blow for the Rams. So it's not looking good. They're in the bottom of the NFC West. So it's not looking for the Rams.
Washington also defeats Houston 23-10. Let's take a second really quick talk my game. Baltimore a little slow offensively again. Carolina very slow offensively. Baltimore ends up beating Carolina 3-3. Only touchdown comes from Lamar Jackson in the fourth quarter. But the big shiny thing with Baltimore, we always talk about defense. Pulls Carolina to 36 yards rushing.
So Carolina is getting back to their old ways, back to where a championship team. So they're starting to look really scary.
Yeah, Baltimore's got the easiest finish schedule of the 2022-2023 schedule. So it'll be interesting to see how those pan out over the next little bit. All right. We made it to the almost very end. But let's talk about Randy's New York Jets. This was Randy's game of the week for us to watch. First question I'm going to ask you, was this, and Robert Taylor, if you're watching still, and let me know if I'm saying this wrong, and I don't want to upset Randy, but was this the worst game of the NFL season so far? I'm being serious. Was this the worst game so far?
Yeah, talking to a buddy of mine, he couldn't believe the score when he finally tuned in to watch it. And I started watching a little bit. 3-3 in the fourth quarter. Neither of the offenses did get anything going. And so it was pretty brutal to watch. I didn't have that long return for a touchdown with 5 seconds to go at all. So that was a shocker.
So let's go through a few of the stats. I love looking at these stats today, and I kind of chuckled about it. First downs. There was a total of 6 first downs for the New York Jets, 13 first downs total for the New England Patriots. Very uncanny. Third down efficiency for all clubs. The Jets go 3 of 14, so just shy of 33% of third down. New England, 4 of 15, just shy of 33% fourth down. New York Jets had only 103 total yards of offense. The Jets, 6 sacks. New England, 4 sacks. It just was not a game that didn't have a feeling. I mean, it just was not a good game.
Right. I mean, if you like defense, you gotta love that game. Robert Saleh, and he's a defensive coach, and obviously for the Patriots, Bill Belichick is a defensive coach, and so I mean, maybe it was more the strength of the two defenses more than the offensive ineptitude of these two teams with two young quarterbacks a young quarterback on each side running the offenses for those two teams. But maybe the offenses aren't quite ready yet to to catch up to these two defenses.
You just said the only touchdown comes in this one as a 84-yard punt return with by Marcus Jones with 5 seconds left to go. Mac Jones, 23-27, almost 100% completion rate, 246 yards passing. The bigger one, Zach Wilson, 9 of 22 for 77 yards. I will pose the same question to you as I posed to Randy after I heard them talking with Robert Saleh and listening to a few of the guys talk. Is it time to hand the reins over back to Joe Flacco, who was keeping that team going? Is he the right answer right now to get back in, get these guys back in the right direction?
Yeah, it's a fair question. I mean, Zach Wilson, he's had numerous opportunities to lead this team, and just hasn't really shown anything yet, and especially being the quarterback of the face of the team. His leadership skills haven't really panned out either. So, especially in his press conferences, not owning up to being responsible for the lack of offense. So maybe it is time to just take a look at Flacco if he can help the team, because they still have a chance in the division. They're 6. So, I mean, if you want to stay in the playoff party, maybe it is fair to try to give Flacco a chance to see if he can resurrect the offense.
So the bottom, you look at that, Randy and I have the same conversation right now. You look at that division, all within one game now.
Yeah.
You've got the Buffalo Bills. So right now leading 7-3 Miami Dolphins and currently sitting second if the playoffs were start today. You've got Buffalo in at number 5, number 6 is New England, and the Jets sitting there at number 8, just barely behind the Cincinnati Bengals. So there's a chance that these teams can do something that make their way into the playoffs. You look at the schedule for, again, I'm a big schedule person for the New York Jets. They've got the Bears coming up on Sunday, and then they have the Vikings and then the Bills. So you've got should be an easy win this week, and then you've got a couple of tough games with the Vikings, the Bills, and then you will look at the Lions, the Jaguars, the Seahawks, and the Dolphins wrap things out. I think there's a good chance if they can get things together and make a change there. Vikings, Bills are going to be the only two that I would worry about out of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Playoff spot is still there for the team. It'll be interesting to see the storyline there. What they do with Zach Wilson as far as keeping him in the starting lineup or Joe Flacco.
Yeah, and it will be an interesting conversation to have. As you and I had this conversation before came on the air, and we were talking about the Las Vegas Raiders, the Broncos, and I told you, and I thought about this, and I thought about it some more, and reading notes. Denver just needs some silly clock management issues here in this one. Raiders go 7 plays, 71 yards, a minute and 27 seconds to be able to kick a field goal to force overtime. Why, and you and I talked about that. Why would you rush in that one? You and I talked about it here. And the play calls, 5 plays leading up to this that Denver had. First and 10, he gets 2 yards. The Raiders call timeout. Then they gain 12 yards on a second and 8 play. So they've got first and 10 again. Another run. Then they call timeout. All right. So now you're sitting at second and 9, 2 minutes, 11 seconds left. Second and 9, Denver's on their own 35-yard line. Run the ball. Okay, I'm okay with that. But they have the 2-minute warning. Why would you not? It just makes absolutely no sense. Why would you run another pass play coming out of the 2-minute warning when you could easily have run the ball, whether or not you run to the right or even. That's what I would have run. I would have run some kind of outside run. Take the clock down.
Right.
Take the clock.
They had a 3-point lead, right?
Yep, you got a 3-point lead.
Yep, you had a 3-point lead. Throw the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And they're in shotgun. They throw a deep incomplete pass. Why do you stop the clock there? Why do you not run the ball? Clock management. You run the ball. Let it work its way down. You figure, okay, even if the play took 8 seconds, run, or even 5 seconds to run play, 5 seconds run off, then you've got another 40 coming off. You're looking at a minute and 15 seconds compared to having a minute and 43 to run 7 plays and score in that.
Right. Yeah.
Right. The Raiders had turned off all 3 of their timeouts.
And so that gave the Broncos a chance to run the ball, burn up more time, but they drew a ball. That's the clock. And they ended up having a punt, and that allowed the Raiders to come get down the make the tying field goal to send it to overtime. And so Denver's questionable play calling again hurts them here, and they just keep finding different new ways to lose. And so that was a Raiders team that had been in a mess for the last few weeks, and they allowed them to stay and lost it to the Raiders. So it's weird what's going on there in Denver when they have Russell Wilson. They just keep finding different ways to lose.
For me, in this game, I think how Derek Carr bounced back after having such an emotional press conference on how his team has been playing. He comes back and has a great game. 22 and 25, 76, 2 touchdowns. And the big one in overtime to Adams to win. I think for me, I think that's the biggest part in that one. That's him coming away with a huge motivation over that ball club. So good on them. A couple other games we'll get to really quick. City ends up winning that one. Kind of crazy for us people that play in my loser pool. A lot of them. One of which the wife's sitting in the room still. She's 1-10 on the season. She got the Chargers pick right. But Kansas City comes back with that one and ends up winning in fashion. Patrick Mahomes, 329, 3 touchdowns, 2 big ones to Kelsey. Justin Herbert also 23, 30, 2 touchdowns. 2 of the most elite quarterbacks to play the game. Just feel bad for the Chargers because of all the way they've been down this season.
Yeah, that was a great game to watch. I was a big Charger fan, but they pull it out and just marvel at what they're doing in Kansas City between Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Right now they're on another level. They're remarkable right now on offense.
Yeah, and that's 100%. Then you look at it. Los Angeles is not 100% out of it. 5-5 on the season now. They're sitting in the 9th spot for the playoffs. So, they're still out of it just by one game right now, mathematically behind Cincinnati. So lots of things that could still happen in that one. They in Cincinnati comes back and wins a great game in that one, scoring 10 points in the second half. Both of these teams. Who would have figured putting up 67 points in this game? But Cincinnati knocks off Pittsburgh 37-30. Pittsburgh pretty well done. 3-7 season. I'm done with that one. But you look at it, Joe Burrow, another huge 355 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, hurt him a little bit. But you look at these games and they went in with that one. Maybe with the mindset was going to be all about all about the run game, or excuse me, the pass game, because the run game was very well obsolete. Joe Mixon with 20 yard rushing, P. Ryan 30 yard rushing, total 62 yards. Kind of, it felt one-sided with if you look at the numbers. Kenny Pickett, he's growing. I think that's the biggest thing you can say about Pittsburgh.
Right. They found their guy to replace Ben Roethlisberger. I think Kenny Pickett's a good fit in Pittsburgh. So they'll get it short up there, especially on defense. That's what Pittsburgh's known for. But I think they did find the quarterback of the future for the Steelers.
Yeah. And last but not least, we take a look at the game from Mexico City. This is what the ninth game in Mexico, fifth, something like that. Ninth game in Mexico City. It was so one-sided. So one-sided. San Francisco 49ers 38-10 over Arizona. Christian McCaffrey is making the difference. I think opening up Brandon Ayuk, opening up Debo Samuel. I mean, it has been a totally different ball club with San Francisco team.
Right. Yeah. It was just that mix, especially with Kyler Murray out for the Cardinals. A huge crowd. Pro Niners the whole night. As you mentioned, with Christian McCaffrey joining the team, they've just turned into one of the elite teams now, and there's another team you don't want to face on the road. This is a team that's only going to get better the longer that the team gels. Look like they already are gelling. So they have so many weapons on offense right now, and the tough defense. They're going to be a tough team to beat.
Talking with my buddy at school today, huge 49er fan, and we were looking and talking about Brandon Ayuk with 2 big touchdowns. Also, with Kittle having a couple big plays, one on a scramble play. You see Garoppolo step up in the pocket, nice little pass over the top as he got behind the safety there. Skippers in, I want to say it was the 38-yard, if I remember right. But I think having McCaffrey on this team is showing their hands that there's so many different possibilities this team's can do. With that being said, what do you do now with Jimmy G? I mean, do you sign him?
Yeah.
Do you keep him on?
Yeah, with out for a while. Yeah, Jimmy G showing what he can do, and maybe he's somebody you want to hold on to, or maybe he's somebody that can impact in a trade deal. But yeah, Jimmy G, what can you say? All he's done is win games for them right now, and so he's making it hard on the Niners to get rid of him. So if he can stay healthy, this team is a team that can make a deep run in the playoffs.
Yeah, you say staying healthy. They've got the New Orleans Saints this week. Then they welcome in the Miami Dolphins. That's going to be, I think, maybe a game of the week next week. It'll be a good one to watch out for. And then they also host in 3 straight home games. They'll host in Tampa Bay. And then they'll go on the road and come up north here to take on the Seahawks. They've got the Commanders Eve. There's a strong possibility one loss in the next 4 games.
Yeah. They're playing well right time. And the Seahawks, they're breathing down their neck right now. So watch out for the Niners.
So with that being said, let's take a look at our power rankings. Randy has posted power rankings here. Our notes and everything. Last week he had Kansas City, Philadelphia, Minnesota, San Francisco, Miami. He's got a little bit of change at Kansas City number 1. He's going to move San Francisco up 2 spots to the number 2 spot, and he's dropping Philadelphia down 1 spot. So right now, Kansas City 1, San Francisco 2, Philadelphia 3, and he moves the Dallas Cowboys back up into his top 5 in the 4 spot, and then he brings down the Miami Dolphins and his for you. I'll have you share your top five right now before we get into mine.
Right now, I have Philly at number one. Their defense is holding teams to 18 points per game. They got Jalen Hurts, so they got a 5-0 road record. So that's why I have Philly at number two. I have Kansas City with Magic and Travis Kelce. That's the lethal 1-2 punch in the league of any. Miami, 3 healthy. They're one of the top offenses in the league, and so I have Miami number 3. Baltimore with their defense and Baltimore number 14. Right now, I still have Buffalo at number 5, even though they're piling up. Buffalo still has a championship caliber team. So Buffalo is hanging on to 5. Next is Tennessee, Dallas.
For me, hit on a lot of those. I'm going to agree on a couple of them. I'm shocked you have my Baltimore Ravens. I still not up there yet. I know they've got the schedule coming into it. Didn't play Carolina quite the way I thought they would, so that's what's keeping them out of the top 5 for me this week. I do move Kansas City up. They had a great game. The biggest thing for me, I'm going to move Philadelphia down. I almost moved them down to the number 3 spot, but I decided just to drop them one spot. I'm starting to think like some of the other naysayers. What are they proving? A lot of the games that they're playing, they barely beat the Lions by 3. They handled the Vikings. They handled the Commanders. Barely beat the Jaguars. Win by the Cardinals by 3. Win by 9 against the Cowboys with no Dak Prescott, no Zeke Elliott. Handled the Steelers quite well. Texans, they lose to Tyler Heineke by 11. Hold on, barely beat Indianapolis. They got to figure something out. Jalen Hurts, they've been relying on him a lot. I still like him. I still think they win their division. But I'm going to move them down just a little bit. I'm going to bump San Francisco up. And we talked about it a second ago. I think it's the Christian McCaffrey thing. I think this is going to be a great fit for him where he's at. I hope they can figure something out long term. We will see what happens because look at how these guys are gelling together as it is. I keep Miami at the spot just because they were on a bye. That's the only reason I'm keeping them at the 4 spot. And I've been on them all year. Minnesota. And I drop them out of my top 5 just because of the way they play against the team. I'm putting Dallas in at 5. I'm jumping them up, bringing my Minnesota down, putting Dallas up. For me, I've got Kansas City 1, Philadelphia 2, San Francisco 3, Miami 4, and Dallas 5. So it is a crazy week in the power ranking. So with that being said, 3 big games on Thursday night, 3 big games on Friday. Let's talk about Randy's game of the week. Randy is wanting you to watch the Cincinnati game against Derrick Henry in Nashville. I think it's a great matchup. Joe Burrow coming on the road and coming down. But I feel like they got to get Derrick Henry in the red zone. They need to do that. If Tennessee wants to end up winning this game, they've got a great chance of doing that. Right now, like I said, they're leading in their conference. You got to keep handing the ball off to him, so it'll be interesting. Who do you want to watch on this weekend?
Well, the game that I picked just because it's going to be the fight for maybe the one overall in the draft. It's going to be Denver and
Carolina.
Denver at Carolina, because these two teams right now they're fighting
Houston,
for
who
has the number one pick right now with the record in the NFL, but
right behind
them
is
is Denver and Carolina.
So
I might be the only one watching this,
but
but these two teams are fighting for the pick right behind Houston. The way they're playing right now, that he's going just going the wrong way. So that's my game of the week, just to see who's going to get the number 2 draft. Denver and Carolina.
Yeah, there are some good games. Tampa, Cleveland. You're looking at Brady versus Brissett. Houston, Miami. I like Miami. Can Miami lay it down against Tyreek? All that one. The Jets Chicago one is interesting because Robert Saleh end up doing? Does he make that change? Does he get in and let him? Does he make the change in that one? So it'll be interesting to see there. I'm not going to take my Baltimore Jets. I'm going with the Thursday night game. And I'm going to ask you before I tell you which one, is this probably the best slate of Thursday night Thanksgiving games that we have had a long time?
Oh yeah, really. The 3 games that I can't wait to start in front of the couch and sit in front of the TV. All 3 of these games are really important, and they're going to be fun. And so all 3 of these Thanksgiving games are probably the best slate ever.
Yeah, I think this is an unbelievable game. Buffalo, Josh comes into Josh Allen comes into Detroit.
Yeah.
Detroit always plays a little bit differently on Thanksgiving.
And they got a 3-game win streak.
Yeah, they're on a heater right now. Yeah. Just a couple games back in Minnesota can make things happen.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a division rival. A division rival for that middle game. New York Giants at Dallas. I think that, for me, that has to be the game to watch. A pair of 7-3 teams taking on each other in their division, moving up into the standings for that. But you also can't blink at Minnesota. How do they bounce back? It's going to be interesting. So I'm going to take the Dallas game and New York Giants. So we look really quick. The playoffs were to start right now. Kansas City would be the number 1 seed at 5. Miami 2, Tennessee 3, Baltimore at 4, Buffalo at 5, New England at 6, and Cincinnati at 7. With a couple of teams just right behind. You look at the NFC, Philadelphia. Got a 1-game lead over Minnesota. Minnesota struggled. San Francisco making it known that here they come. Sitting number 3, Tampa Bay number 4 at 5-5. Dallas 7-3. 6 is the New York Giants, and number 7 right now is the Seattle Seahawks with the Commanders, Atlanta, and Detroit right behind it. So anything can happen. So let's talk about those Thursday games really fast. Randy is going to take Buffalo in this one. I'm also going to take Buffalo. Buffalo favored by 9. Who do you have in that game?
I have Buffalo as well. I think they're still a little bit better than Detroit. It's going to be a close game, though. I think the crowd will keep Detroit in it, especially in Detroit now. They're going to be happy to see Detroit coming off that win against them. I know that's a 3-game winning streak, so it's not going to be easy for Buffalo. But I still think they have a little bit of better offense and defense to hold off to.
It's going to be an interesting game. We'll look forward to that one. Also, all 3 of us are taking the Cowboys against the Giants as that one is down in Dallas. Dallas also up 9-point spread in that one. And then the late game, you've got the New England traveling to Minnesota. Dome game. Almost dome game. I like this. New England at Minnesota. My favorite. Randy and I are taking Minnesota. You, sir.
I'm going to take the Patriots. Just coming off that high of the emotional win, last second win against the Jets. They're going to go into Minnesota. I think they're going to
play it close with Minnesota this time. Minnesota coming up that loss against Dallas might be questioning themselves a little bit. Maybe New England sneaks a victory here. I think it's going to be close and win field goal at the end.
Yeah, it is a 3-point favorite. That was quite interesting. So. Didn't have you pick an eliminator pick, but Randy and I doing our elimination because we have been since week 1. Not one team that will not be in the playoffs this week. Randy is going to eliminate the LA Rams. I think that's a good choice. Like you said earlier, a few minutes ago, Cup out for a couple months, probably. Matthew Stafford doesn't finish the game, dealing with concussion, shoulder, so that'll be interesting. Just have not been the same team. For myself, I'm finally going to take Jacksonville, and I think it's going to really bounce back, especially with Baltimore playing them this week. I think Jacksonville looks up enough of us. So I've got 6 AFC teams. Randy has taken 6 NFC teams. Within a couple weeks, we will have 19 each. The team will not make the playoffs. Hopefully, we will be all squared away in that one. NFL picks really quick. I know you follow our NFL picks. I make our picks on Thursday. I'm not doing this pick on it, but I do get the only game. We have different correct this week. I extend my lead to 8. Right now, I am 96-67-1. Randy is 88-75-1. A little bit better weeks this week. Last week, both of us last week go 6 and 8. Randy goes 8 and 6 this week. I go 9 and 5 in NFL picks. So watch for those to come out on the Facebook page on Thursday morning. Man, we talked a long time for NFL stuff. We went way over time. We got to speed it up a little bit. Let's talk Idaho State won a Division II championship. Kendrick, Zane Hobart's team comes back to wins, knocks off Dietrich 42-34. Kendrick now finishes the season 12-0. They're currently on a 15-game win streak between the last 2 seasons. This is their 5th football title, winning in 1991. Then they had back-to-back years in 2000, 2001, and another back-to-back. This one, 21-22. Tigers trailed in this one after the first quarter and halftime, but Ty kept. It is unbelievable, and the stats he has are phenomenal. But he hasn't played really very many full games this year. He has a great game this week against Dietrich, 13-26, 202 carries. What's bigger 18 carries, 108 yards, rushing touchdown. Six carries, 137, and 4 touchdowns.
Right, yeah. This team didn't have to play more than a half most of the season, so they finally met their match in Dietrich. And so congratulations to the year. Their Kendrick is just leading down. They have a lot of guys coming back. They only lost 4 seniors this year, even though one of them is, as you mentioned, Hewitt. Jagger Hewitt is going to graduate. But they have Sawyer Hewitt, who missed a lot of the season. So he was only a sophomore this year. He came back during the playoff run and had 4 touchdowns in the championship game, 2 rushing. And they were both long. All 4 of them were long, 45+ yards. And so they'll have Sawyer Hewitt back. The quarterback that you mentioned, Ty Kepp, is only a junior, so he'll be back for a senior run there. He's been starting since he was a freshman, and so they have a quality quarterback there in Ty Kepp. Nate Tweet, who was a freshman, intercepted the pass in the end zone to steal the victory against Dietrich, and so Nate Tweet was only a freshman, and so look for Kendrick to make the 3-peat next year possibly.
And so with that all being said, Randy and I clearly pulled in a bowling tournament on Friday night, so we had our NFHS up on one of our phones and was watching the game. And
Randy ended up
writing the article for
this.
He said the same word you did. And I want to ask you, is it too early to be calling this a dynasty? This is their second back-to-back. Is it too early to be saying this?
No, I don't think so. No, they relished the challenge. They've had a target on their back, and they've answered the bell every time. I mean, they last 7 seasons they've been 16-12, and so this is a team that's well equipped for making deep runs into the playoffs. And Zane Hobart's led the way for the last 10 years, so he knows what he's doing. He has the teams in junior high playing their offenses, and so they're ready to go right into the same offense when they get into high school. So they know the offense already since they've been playing in junior high. And so that's what Zane Hobart's built there in Kendrick. And so I'm not afraid to call it a dynasty at all.
Yeah, you look at some of the things they've had, some big numbers thrown up this year, kept 2,000 yards passing. Also, Hewitt having 15 touchdowns. Junior Hunter Taylor 400 receiving. So I think it is. I don't know if I can say dynasty yet. Maybe if we can get this next one. But a great group of kids. I had the opportunity to watch their game against Castleford, chatting with Zane, and being friends with Zane. I had the opportunity to spend a little time with them there the other day, and so great team. What's happening there? So
they are going to play 3 linemen though that played offense and defense. 3 linemen: Jack Silflo, Tristan Jones, Tommy Stanford. So that is the one question mark they're going to have next year, trying to rebuild, fortify that line on both sides of the ball. But it was a team that scored 104 points against Colton this year, and they had 6 shutouts. So it's a team that can score points and points.
Yeah, and
they're fun to watch.
They're going to be fun to watch. 8-man football. If you not have a chance to watch 8-man football, it is a blast to watch. I'm hoping to get to do a little bit of it. I say that every time, but it's unbelievable to watch. So look forward to that. Let's stay on the high school ranks here. You and I about it just a few minutes ago because it had popped up just before the game, or just before we went live. And we'll have the results. I'm not even attempting myself to even look yet. But the Warrior Athletic Association High School Awards are happening tonight. They're getting announced in between the games that are happening. Female Athlete of the Year, Coach of the Year, and the Meritorious Award will be handed out at halftime during the women's game over at LC, and that should have been somewhere 5:30-ish. I think when they were starting. So it would have been about probably just now happening with that. And then it's in the middle of the halftime of the men's game at 7:30. The team of the year, male athlete of the year, those will be announced. If they get posted, we'll announce them. We'll talk about them during our game or our show next week. We'll definitely be watching the LC Warriors Facebook page, as Alicia keeps that up quite well. And so we'll post those as soon as we do see those come across, which should be sometime this evening. So we'll get those posted. So excited for that. All right, sir, let's turn our attention. Let's talk a little college football. Try to make up a little bit of time. We won't go into a ton of detail as we've got so much more stuff to cover. Some big games that happened this past week in the college rankings. Georgia defeated Kentucky. Wasn't much of a game. I was more unimpressed with what the numbers were that Georgia did not put up. They ended up only winning 16-6.
Right. Yeah. Again, they how strong their defense is, holding up a good team that wants to take points. And so the championship defense again. The Georgia's got out there. It does kind of concern me that they only were able to put up 6. I'm not at all worried about that.
Big shot for me, and we'll talk about the college football playoff rankings here in a few minutes. But Michigan comes back to beat Illinois on a fourth quarter game-winning field goal with 9 seconds left, and ends up winning that one 19-7. Kind of surprised where the selection committee kept them in that one. TCU comes back with a last-second field goal, another last-second field goal, and maybe that's why they keep Michigan where they did. But TCU comes back, no timeouts. They're able to run their entire field goal team out onto the field, set up nice and calm, kick the field goal, hit a 45-yarder or 40-yarder to knock off Baylor 29-28. They looked so smooth going out there like it was nobody.
Yeah, that was about as impressive an execution as you can get, especially on a special teams play like that, where you got to get everybody lined up. You can't have anybody all start, and they executed that perfection.
Yeah, I did. Just crazy to see you wait to the final to get this win, but it comes up big. Tennessee got rolled. They got cleaned out. Lose to South Carolina 63-38. On a bad note, they lose quarterback Hendon Hooker.
Yeah, that was tough to see. That was a non-contact injury that Hendon Hooker tore his ACL on, and they had a great run going, but they just ran into a team that kind of gone back to last year when Tennessee had South Carolina 45-20. So that was a team in South Carolina that remembered that, and it's tough to explain that, but sometimes there's just things that are factors in the game that you remember from the previous year, and you never know what's going to go on in these 18 to 22-year-olds' heads, but they remember stuff like that last year. And Tennessee put them last year 45-20, and I think that had a little bit to do with South Carolina. Had a little payback. Remember, they have Spencer Rattler. He was a Heisman Trophy candidate just 2 years ago. He didn't forget how to play quarterback. He had the game of his life against Tennessee.
Had a huge game in that one, so quite interesting there. A couple other scores we'll just run down. Oregon defeated Utah 20-17. Bob Kosler and I thought that was going to be USC. I really thought UCLA was going to come away with that one. They end up winning at 48-45. Georgia Tech upsets North Carolina 21-17. Another big upset, Arkansas. Arkansas rolls over Ole Miss 42-27. Oklahoma is going to be a big one there. Navy defeated UCF. That was one game that Dad said was kind of a crazy game. Washington, I don't think there was any doubt in that one. Washington ends up beating Colorado 54-7. Washington State knocks off Arizona 31-20. As Washington State knew that Delora was going to be down there playing, they kind of kept Delora in check in that game. Idaho knocks off Idaho State very handily, 38-7. And both now, the Vandals and the Cougs, 7-4 on the season. They're both bowl eligible, so we'll see what happens with that one. And the only reason I bring it up, and I know Randy kind of laugh about it, but last week, College Game Day was in Bozeman, Montana. Montana State just runs all over Montana. Wins that one by 34-55-21 in a crazy game there. So let's talk a little bit about the college football playoffs. With the big loss, Tennessee all the way down to 10th in the CFP. Oregon 9-2 at 9th. Clemson 10-1, and they're sitting in 8th. I think that one might be a little questionable in that. I'm okay with Alabama being 9-2 in 7th place. USC sitting in 6th, 10-1. LSU 9-2 sitting in 5th place. And then you have the remaining undefeated teams. You've got TCU in 4th, Michigan in 3rd, Ohio State in 2nd, and Georgia still leading that one. With that being said, there can be a lot of shakeup this week.
Oh,
But which team that is not, and I'll ask you this: which team that are not in the top 4 do you feel has the best chance in the next 2 weeks to move themselves up into the playoff window?
Well, right now, 5 and 6, LSU and USC are just waiting for the loser of a Big Ten game this weekend between Ohio State and Michigan. That's an elimination game right there. So, and then you might get a TCU loss in the championship game. So it's going to be 2 teams that eliminated right there. So right there, you got LSU and USC that jump into those next 2. So those 2 teams right there have a shot, as long as they take care of business. USC still has to play Notre Dame, which could be a spoiler. And then USC will be in the Pac-12 championship. So they still have 2 games to play, though, to get there.
So the big one for me, and I think who has kind of taken a bite out of this one, for me, has to be Clemson. You look at Clemson. Clemson's all the way down to 8. I think they're better than the LSU. I really do. I think I really think they should be just above USC and in that 5-6 session. You look at their schedule. Yes, they played Furman and they won by 28. They played Wake Forest when Wake Forest was ranked. They played NC when NC was ranked. They played Boston College. Yes, wasn't exposed. They beat Florida State. They beat Syracuse. Their only loss comes to Notre Dame.
Right.
I think the selection committee has gotten that one wrong. I really think that Clemson should be up a lot higher in this one. Yes, Ohio State, and I believe Ohio State is favored a lot more. We'll get to the rankings here in a few minutes, but I think that is going to be the biggest thing happening in that ballgame is what comes out of that game.
Right, and they still have a chance to make their case with these two huge games coming up. South Carolina, that's their rivalry game, and then they have their ACC championship game against North Carolina. So they still have those 2 games to prove their case.
I still think they don't get quite the love that they are deserved there. I think that they could make a huge step forward because if you look at the same thing with LSU and you look at their schedule, having 2 losses, well, one comes to the hand of Florida State, very first game of the year. The other one was from a ranked Tennessee team.
Right.
So, but then you got the same thing. You knock off Alabama. That's definitely the reason I believe they are still as high up as they are. Is they knocked off Alabama, they knocked off Florida, they knocked off Tennessee. So it'll be interesting to see there. We did talk about it being rivalry week, so I'm going to ask you a question. What is? And we talked about it. There's so many different rivalry games. Which one stands out to you? This year, as far as the most exciting game to play, might not be the game that's most notable for Randy. He always says the rivalry between he has said between Michigan and Ohio State. You, sir, went a different direction where I thought you were going to go.
Yeah, obviously going to big that's always special too. But I'm interested in the Civil War this year between Oregon and Oregon State, just because of the team that the Beavers have put together this year, and so I think they have a really legitimate chance to beat the Ducks this week, especially being at research game this week. So. And they also have a chance to spoil Oregon season talking about the Pac-12 championship game.
Yeah.
And so I think this is the perfect opportunity for the Beavers to step up and have a really winnable game.
Yeah, we'll talk about that game in our picks here in a few minutes. Right now, in that one, Oregon is a 3-point favorite in that ball game. For me, as much as I want to say
a lot of different games.
There's the Axe game between Wisconsin and Minnesota for running. You've got the land grant trophy for me. It's got to be the Iron Bowl. I really like it. Auburn has not played well the last few years, but there's just something about Bama and Auburn in that one. So I would say that one. Yes, we got to throw honorable mentions out there to the Cougars, as they are the one of the longest running rivalries that have played games. So.
I like that you mentioned the Iron Bowl. Cadillac Williams, the interim coach now, fired Brian Harsin, the NC State coach. And so Cadillac Williams be playing for a possible job opportunity there at Auburn. But that should be a great game. I mentioned earlier the Egg Bowl with Mike Lee, Lane Kiffin, maybe with maybe at one foot out the door, and rumor he's linked to that Auburn job as well. And so I always like watching the Egg Bowl too.
Yeah, it's going to be a great day to sit in front of watching a lot of football. So I'm looking forward to that. So, let's jump ahead really quick to our pick'ems. And Randy and I, we do pick'ems every week with the high school and the college ranks. I caught up. I was telling you earlier, I caught up over 8 games, 7 games in 2 weeks. So I'm still one game behind Randy. I am 128 and 68. Randy is 129 and 67. We had some really good games this past week. And you said it. I picked Salem over Homedale. I also took Bear Lake over First. So a couple of big chances in that one. So excited. So we're gonna add you in this week for the picks. We'll go through. Okay, well, we got enough time. I think we'll get there. But it is semifinal week in Washington football action. So let's start there. We'll start there. Washington Bees. Nia Bay is taking on Liberty Christian. Nia Bay number 2 in the state. Nia Bay number 3. Randy is taking Nia Bay. Who are you taking?
Nia Bay.
I love this. High school picks. I've always followed high school football since I like this. But I'm gonna go with Liberty Christian.
I'm gonna agree with you.
Liberty Christian
right now. We've seen before. They've played against us, so we're used to seeing what they can do. It's going to be a game with that one. Let's jump to the 2B semis. We're looking at number 2 Okanagan taking on number 3. I'm going to chop this name. I know I'm going to do it. A.L. Valley. And I think I said that right. I believe all three of us are taking the number 2. We're going to take Okanagan.
When I was in high school, I grew up in Colton, so we played PL in the state championship. We don't back E3, so I can't go against PL. I'm going Okanagan.
All right. And let's go to 2A. We're a lot more familiar with 2A because Clarkson is a. Let's look at the first semifinal. WF West, who is top 5 team any year. North Kitsap also in that one. They are ranked number 3. All three of us are taking North Kitsap. The other 2A semifinal team faces the number 1 team and has been the number 1 team all season, all year, and that is Lind. And they are taking on number 4 Enum Claw. You got everybody's got Lind in that one too, so that will be interesting. We jump to the 3A semi-ranks. It is Odeya, who is in the greater Seattle area, taking on Eastside Catholic. Randy is taking Odeya. You are taking.
I'm going with Eastside Catholic.
Eastside Catholic is where I'm going to go in that map myself. So that will be an interesting game to follow and watch. Now we go into the 4A semis. Kennedy Catholic taking on Emerald Ridge. and I believe all three of us are going the same way.
Kennedy Catholic 4 seed, Emerald is the 8th seed, so I'm going to go with the higher seed here. Kennedy Catholic. Kennedy Catholic.
This is where I've made up my game.
In
the high school one, so it'll be interesting to see how things go over the next week in that one. Let's go ahead and go college ranks. We got a few for the college ranks. Let's look at the FCS championship first round. It is the Idaho Vandals taking on the Southeastern Louisiana team. Randy and I are both taking the Vandals with their 7-4 record. You, sir, are going out on a limb.
Yeah, I thought when I first Idaho was going to be playing in the Kibbe Dome, but now I found out that it's going to be at Southeast Louisiana. I'm going with Southeast Louisiana, but what an incredible turnaround Jason has brought to the Vandals. I just don't know if they're ready to enter the playoffs. A whole different animal. Especially going all the way down to Louisiana.
Yeah, the Vandals will travel down there. It's a 4 o'clock game on Saturday. You can watch that on ESPN Plus. Taking on the 8-3 Louisiana, Southeast Louisiana. Let's stay also in the FCS. Another one, Southeast Missouri State taking on the Grizzlies at Montana.
I am going with Montana. I just feel like when FCS playoffs roll around, Big Sky teams always fare really well. So Montana's always they belong in the playoffs, and I think they will at least in the first round.
I'm going to Randy's going to also take Montana. I'm going out on a limb. I wasn't impressed with the way that Montana played. They're just not this year seeming to play the way they should. Eastern kind of had. They had an up and down season too. You can't really judge them on that one, but looking at what they did in Bozeman last week, I think Southeast is going to come to Montana and run all over. That is going to be an ESPN2 game. So how do you do that? How are you going to do that? You got the Cougars in the Apple Cup on ESPN, Montana, Southeastern Missouri State on ESPN2. My screens will be split screen out there, or I take my Joey out. We said both these out. I don't know. We'll see what happens on that one. It'll be interesting. We'll go to the other championship round game. North Dakota is at Weber State. And I believe all of us are going to take Weber State.
Yeah, Weber State, the number one team in the Big Sky all season long, behind Sacramento State. So we got Weber State.
All right. Let's turn our attention. Let's go to the Apple Cup. As that one, we finally heard what time they were going to play. We finally heard that on late Saturday, Sunday morning. Washington Huskies home take on the Cougars. Currently, the Huskies just 2-point favorite for a Saturday night game. I'm assuming you have tickets, you'll be there.
I will be there.
So, who you got in this one?
Well, I got to go Cougars, but it's never easy, especially when they play the Huskies. But I know the Huskies are going to be looking for payback after the Cougars won 40-13 at Husky Stadium, and Jaden Delora playing with the flag right in the middle of the field. So I know they're going to be looking for payback. Rip my heart out. But I think Coach Dickert has a defense that can stop Panic Jr. So it'll be interesting how they attack the passing game of the Huskies. But I think Montana County will field goal at the end.
It's going to be an interesting matchup right now. The over-under for this game is 38 or 61, so it'll be interesting game that is. Randy and I also going to take Washington State. I think the home field advantage might be to their liking, and I believe, if I am not mistaken, it's supposed to be cold. Last I saw, it's supposed to be extremely cold up there, and it'll be interesting to see how those pan out.
Snow will get
but yeah, it's gonna be cold.
Well, looking at the weather, high is only supposed to be up to 38. It does show a little bit of rain, but that'll be an earlier, so might be just a cold, windy night on the Blues. So us taking Washington State. Let's talk about Civil War right now.
The Ducks are favored
By three in Corvallis. Randy and I are taking the Ducks. You sure are taking.
I have Beavers. I think this is the chance to do it
this year. Ruin Oregon's chance to go into the Pac-12 championship.
And so I'm taking Beavers.
Then we look at some early action on Thursday. I'm excited to watch this game. It's going to be tough to flip back and forth between the end of the Giants and Dallas game unless it's a blowout. Mississippi State at Ole Miss. Ole Miss, my favorite. That game at 4 o'clock on ESPN. Randy and I are taking Ole Miss.
I'm going to take Mississippi State. I think there's too much distraction with the possibility of Lane Kiffin leaving the team.
And so I think Mike Leach might have a chance to
pull out the road victory here.
In a game that I constantly follow this team, just so excited to watch Cincinnati a lot of the time. Tulane on the road at Cincinnati. And Cincinnati favored by 2. That's a Friday morning game. ABC 9 o'clock. Who you got in that one?
I like the story of Tulane this year. They've been a great team to follow, but yeah, Luke Fickell has built a really good team the last couple of years there in Cincinnati. So I got the Bearcats.
Yeah, I really like the Bearcats, what they've done over the last couple of years. Give us Cincinnati. Then you look at the North Carolina rivalry game, North Carolina State against North Carolina. That one is on Friday at 12:30. And I believe all of us are going to take North Carolina on that game.
Yeah. North Carolina has a freshman quarterback, Drake May. He's quietly put up Heisman numbers this year as a freshman. They did get upset last week by Georgia Tech, but I think they'll bounce back against the Wolfpack.
NC State was ranked earlier in the year. They are now not ranked, but still 7-4. North Carolina now 9-2, ranked 17th in the nation. So give Randy and I both North Carolina. All right, the big game, I think the major game where College Game Day will be, they will be in Columbus, Ohio, at the Horseshoe. Michigan at Ohio State. Right now, Ohio State is a 7.5-point favorite. That is an early morning game, 9 o'clock on Fox. And you, sir, are taking.
I got to go with the home team, Ohio State. They'll have the crowd behind them in the Horseshoe, and with the running back from Michigan, Blake Corum, banged up a little bit. I think that's a problem for Michigan. And we'll see if I'm sure he's going to be able to go, but I just think it's too much Ohio State.
Yeah, I agree with it. Much as love Harbaugh and his coaching style and what he has done with Michigan over the last this season and bringing them back up from where they have been. I think, unfortunately, I think Ohio State is just too much for Michigan, and we see Michigan fall out of the college football playoffs in that one. And last but not least, the last game that we're going to be taking is Notre Dame at USC. Currently, USC is a 5.5-point favorite on Saturday afternoon, 4:30 ABC. Randy is taking Notre Dame. You, sir, are taking.
I got the Trojans. I keep picking against them. They keep defeating me.
UCLA would get
last week. I got USC.
Yeah, I'm also going to take USC. And this one, I think, is just going to be way too much for Notre Dame, especially traveling to the Rose Bowl and that one. So, crossing my fingers, I can get one more game back against Randy, as we only got a couple more weeks of college picks. We will do our college, we will do our bowl picks. So make sure you're watching for those. Those should be coming out here in the next couple weeks. We're only 2 weeks away from figuring out all of our bowl picks, so it'll be quite interesting there. So, All right, sir. Let's turn our attention to a little Major League Baseball. Yes, baseball season's over. Yes, we're in November, but we're finally seeing the last of the awards come out. And I say this, Randy was 100% on with this. Cy Young, he hit both Cy Youngs exactly right. Alcantara gets all 30 votes. Justin Verlander also all 30 votes in both divisions, and both come away with the winners for the Cy Youngs. MVPs, are you shocked with either one of the MVPs?
No.
Paul Goldschmidt. I guess I'd say Paul Goldschmidt for the NL and Aaron Judge for the AL.
No, not at all. Aaron Judge was a runaway pick throughout the whole year with the amount of home runs he put up, the record that he was going for, and he was putting up record numbers all season long, triple crown numbers almost, and Paul Goldschmidt too. He was consistent all throughout the season, and so no, I was not surprised by those two winners.
With that being said, before we go into the other winners, were you shocked to see the announcement today that Mr. Judge was going to be meeting with the Giants tomorrow?
No, not really. I mean, I think being a West Coast guy, he's from California, so he has a few options there. I'm sure it's not the only team he's going to talk to, and so not surprised that he's talking with the Giants.
Also, you look at comeback player of the year; those were announced today for the NL. Not shocking at all. Albert Pujols, putting up the numbers he did to get the home runs there, and that one, and then also for the AL, Justin Verlander walking away with another one. Dude just put up some crazy numbers.
Keep defining his age. It looks like he's not going to stop for another year.
So yesterday they did announce the Hall of Fame finalists. With the new people that are having the chance to come on for the ballot this year. I think the biggest name on that list, we'll read them all off, but the biggest name on that list has to be Carlos Beltran.
Yeah.
Can he be a first ballot Hall of Famer? I think so. I think he can be that person. It'll be interesting to see other names that are on that list. The first time people, you look at that list, and a few of them, I'm like, can you get there the first time? I don't think so. Other names on that list, there's 14 of them 13 besides Carlos Beltran. You're looking at Francisco Rodriguez, closer Houston Street, also closer Matt Cain, John Lackey, R.A. Dickey, Jared Weaver, Bronson Arroyo, Jacoby Ellsbury, Andre Ethier, Mike Napoli, Johnny Peralta, J.J. Hardy, Jason Worth. Any of those names other than Beltran? I think Beltran gets on. Any of those you think maybe makes a huge push to be first ballot Hall of Fame?
Actually, I can't see any of those names being Hall of Fame ballots besides Carlos Beltran. He would be the closest, but not. I mean, with no stats in front of me, I don't see any of those players being Hall of Fame worthy.
We got a couple of returners that will make their fifth or sixth appearance on the ballot. Scott Rowland will be making appearance on that one. Todd Helton will be making his fifth appearance from Colorado, and then Wagner, closer for Houston, for something his eighth year on the ballot. Any of those three think the ballot?
I think all three of them have a chance to make it this time. I'm not sure. Really, we have 300 saves.
Have to see his stats.
But
Helton, lifetime career average probably 300 or better. But Todd Helton, Billy Wagner, I think have a chance to see more than Scott Rowland.
Right now,
Too,
yeah. So Billy Wagner, if you look at where his stats were, kid from Varian, Virginia, he went 47 and 40, had a 0.31 ERA. Played in 853 games, had 422 saves. So you look at that, half the games he played in, he got a save. So could that be a good chance to get him in? I think so. You got a chance there, 16-year career, and to see the numbers that they put up there. Average 72 innings a year. Had over 900 innings thrown.
And you give him, he has a ring too, I believe.
So he does have
He was MVP.
All-Star. He made the All-Star team a few times. Look at that, 7-time All-Star for them. So I think you can put up a huge plus about that. I think the bigger stats with him is his numbers of what he gave up in that 16-year career. Only gives up 82 home runs.
Yeah.
So almost 1,200 strikeouts. So I would think that would definitely probably put him in the running for getting on there. Other than that, I don't see. I like Todd Helton. I don't know if that's enough to get him on there.
Right.
Two other names I'm going to throw at you, and it's just because they have kind of that asterisk feeling of where they played. Alex Rodriguez has a chance to get back on. So does Andrew Jones. Do either one of them make it on there?
I don't think so.
Actually, I still think
the asterisk hurts A-Rod, and so I don't think he's going to be on the ballot again. Andrew Jones. I think. I don't know if he has good enough numbers to get in. He's right on the line.
It'll be interesting to see who ends up making it on there. And I like chances that eventually Andrew Jones gets on there. I don't know if it will count to anything. So that I guess that's the biggest thing. Whether or not how much longer he's going to get on there. That's not where I was wanting to go. Like it's trying to load that up. I'm not going to even try on that. How about the story? I'm going to throw this out to you. More Major League Baseball story. And this was one that I read earlier today. I thought, okay, this is cool. We're finally breaking the gender thing. And I'm all about women playing sports and what they're doing. And this was a story I read about earlier today. First female baseball player active on an NCAA Division I roster this year, and is starting to see signs of it right now. Olivia Pardo, she's a freshman at Brown University. She was a walk-on utility player. It's going to be the first female baseball player to be active. Is this the first that we're going to start seeing of women playing in baseball at the college level?
Probably.
I think there'll be more. She's breaking ground there.
that
leads me to believe there's going to be more that are going to try to follow in her footsteps. And if teams are willing to give women
the opportunity
to try to make the team,
there's going
to be
females
all over that are going to be able to try out. So
that's great
for her that she makes the team.
If there's more after that, but
So this young lady, just Easel, a freshman, a walk-on, was added to their 2023 roster on Monday. She's worked out as a middle infielder. She's worked out as an outfielder. She's even worked out as a pitcher in all this. If you are interested and you want to watch her, I don't know if it'll play with it. If you want to watch her do her thing, we've got a great link or a Twitter at bat that they're showing what she did. She turned a line drive to center into a stand-up triple. She is that fast, and you can see her coming around playing in an Independence League game. If you're interested in that, go to MLB.com, check that out. And I think this is the next step. I think some of these guys are going to be wider awake in what some of these athletes can do. So, they'll play Brown University for the first game against Georgia State in the end of February. So that will be interesting to see what this young lady can do. They also show another one of her pitching. She can throw the ball about 82, 83, 84 miles an hour. So be interesting to see what they do with her over the next few weeks. So let's touch really fast as we had the game on up here. We were kind of watching basketball game with Maui Open on. Let's give you a quick update of the top 25 for basketball. It's kind of hard to get into college basketball with so many things happening in football this year. But let's start with women. Are you surprised that South Carolina is number one?
No.
South Carolina has all 29 votes
for number 2 Stanford on the road, I believe, last weekend. So they are the outright number 1.
Yeah, so they do beat Stanford. Stanford's only lost. Stanford still stays at number 2 at 5-1. UConn number 3, 3-0. Ohio State and Iowa State 4-5. Both of them at 4-0 in that one. Then you look at the men's top 25. A little bit of controversy, maybe in the top 2. North Carolina gets 47 votes there, and they end up our number 1. They're 4-0. Houston 5-0 in this one. Kansas third at 4-0. Texas 3-0 on the year. Virginia 4-0 and number 5. And I did put this in there. Gonzaga number 6. Their only loss was against Texas a couple weeks ago. So it'd be interesting to see where things happen now that Gonzaga gets going on a roll and playing there. Quick score updates for college football games going on right now. They are all finished up in the earlier MAC scores, and it was kind of if it doesn't want to load for me. Where's my MAC score? Come on, give me my MAC. My MAC score, here we go. Miami of Ohio comes back and wins 18-17, scoring 12 unanswered in the fourth quarter to come back and beat Ball State. They extend their record to 6-6 on the year. And then Ohio has no issues with Bowling Green and win that one 38-14. Look for Ohio to just keep running away with that one there. All right, sir. It is time that we talk about
our favorite guy, and what he is doing on the tour right now. Mr. Joel Damon has another huge, crazy weekend.
Yes, I watched more golf on Sunday than I did football. I had my eyes glued to the TV to watch that tournament and the RSM Classic in Georgia. And Joel put together 4 really good rounds. A little hiccup on Saturday, but he was right in the mix on Sunday. He just didn't. He was not in the final few groups, and so he finished early. And so there was just so many guys that had a lot of birdies out there left to overtake Joel. And so I think he had enough of this, but not a bad showing at all for Joel. Again, he's played really good, especially the last 3 tournaments.
Yeah, big couple of days
couple
for him. Like you were saying, he put together some really good rounds over the weekend. Shoot 67, 64. Saturday was his really only big hiccup. And you can't really even say it's a big hiccup because he was only 2 over on Saturday, shooting 72, but then ends up shooting 64, finishes the tournament 15 under, and has a great showing in that one. Damon was 4 strokes back, ended up tied up with Cole Hammer, Jameis Power, and then Alex Smalley, Chris Stroud, some big names in that group. Right now, his projected ranking after 3 great weeks, right now, his FedEx Cup ranking was estimated at 15th, which is still quite well with only, what are we, like 8 tournaments in so far this tournament this year. So huge shout out to Joel and even Gino, what Gino can do with these guys. Canadian Adam Svensson is winning that tournament 19 under. So congratulations to him. One other match was going on a little bit. Lots of stuff happening between these guys, but Roy McIlroy beat him in the news a lot, talking about Liv and the PGA, talking about Greg Norman getting out, but Nico Donnell kind of on the back ended up playing this weekend and finishes up as the top golfer in the European Tour this year, and ended up winning that big, huge trophy. If you have not seen that trophy, that thing is huge. It is so tall. It is nuts. Make sure you go look at it. Go look at Google Rory McIlroy, European top ranked golfer. Look at the thing. But also one of the best golfers to play the game, John Rahm, ends up winning in Dubai. So a all around great weekend for those 2 guys. Quick sum up: Live Golf, PGA. Do you think these 2 will ever mesh well together?
No, I don't think they'll ever coexist. No, I just don't see it happening with the outside noise about what is behind Live Golf, and I don't know if they'll ever agree on anything combining stuff. So can't see it happening right now.
Yeah. PGA Tour takes a week off Thanksgiving, so I know this. Joel has flown back to Clarkston. I know has flown back to Lewiston. They are here in town for holiday. We try to keep up with those guys as much as we can. Joel, follow him on Twitter. If you have a chance, follow him on Twitter. And Gino both, they talk some crazy stuff, and love having them on that. So they are off this next week. Upcoming tournament will be the Hero World Challenge in Albany, Nassau, the Bahamas. So that is in 2 weeks, December 1st through the 4th. And Victor Hovland is your defending champion with that. Sir, it has been a great night. You and I sit here and chat a lot of football. Went overtime a little bit on that, but I appreciate you coming on with me. So I'm going to throw this at you. Randy and I do this now. What is your one final word that you would want to say here? What's your final word?
Stuffing.
Stuffing.
Yeah, wait. What's your go-to food for Thanksgiving?
Listen, I found out from my sister today we are doing a non-traditional this year. No turkey, no mashed potatoes, no green bean casserole, which makes me sad. We're actually going non-traditional. We're going brisket. We're going California potato salad and cheesecake, chocolate pie. No pumpkin pie, no apple pie. We are going so far non-traditional. So, yeah. Hey, Brian, I appreciate you coming on and joining us today. And we'll be back another episode. Hopefully, Randy doesn't have any basketball games. Carson gets back in action with basketball as they will kick things off. First home game, December 8th. So be watching for those. We'll be doing those so very soon. Randy should be back with us this week. So shout out to him doing Louisville basketball. But for Mr. Brian Bremen joining me here tonight, I am Robert Hagan. You've been listening to R&R Sports Report on the Warrior Radio Network.